Now then, welcome back. I am going to answer some more questions today from my Instagram. Let's get started. If you see me looking down off to the side like that, it's because I have the questions up on my phone. So yeah, let's get started. The first question is from my mate Steve, and he asks, what do you prefer, 1 pint or 2 pints? Now, this is that classic British English dilemma, isn't it? Where you say to your mate, you're like, oh, do you fancy a pint? And like, what it usually means is like, there is actually a conversion chart on the internet if you're interested in deepening your knowledge of it. But 1 pint tends to mean 2 pints. 2 pints means 2 pints or more. I think the official conversion rate is 1 pint means 2 pints, 2 pints means 4 pints, and a few pints means we're getting fucking wrecked and we're gonna be sick outside a Sopranos pizza shop and get carried on by someone that we met 3 hours ago. So when answering the question, do I prefer 1 pint or 2 pints? I'd say 2 pints because it's more. This question is in kind of follow up to a question on the previous video, and it is, do you think you'll ever feel actually happy / stoked with a finished drawing? I do sometimes, maybe like 1 in 10. I'd say like, obviously most of the time when I finish a drawing, I'm happy enough. It makes it sound bad that, but I'm like happy with it to the point that I'm going to do the tattoo. But then like, even while I'm doing the tattoo, you start to get like, oh, I'll be like doing a certain part of the drawing as a tattoo, and then I'll be like, fuck, I should have done this to the drawing, or I should have done this, like I'll get like a new idea for it. And I think that's the problem, is it's like I'm only as good at drawing as my last drawing, but then like my next drawing comes along and usually or hopefully it's a bit better, so then I immediately hate the last drawing I've done. I'd say it happens like 1 in 10 maybe. It'll happen and I'll like turn around to Jill, my partner, and be like, oh, I'll be buzzing and I'll be like, oh, I've done it here. I've done a good drawing that I'm happy with. And it lasts minutes, mere minutes, and then it's gone. And it's back in the bloody shit pile with the rest of them. But I'd say I am like happy with my progress of drawing. I'm always trying to just get better at it. Every drawing, I'm trying to make it better than the last one, which you can't always do because it depends on the day, doesn't it? But I'd say relatively I'm happy with my progress of improving my drawing abilities. But it's hard to say if like that when I am happy or stoked, it lasts such a fleeting amount of time. But that's what it's all about. It's trying to capture that little fleeting moment of like happiness with a drawing before it fucking disappears and turns to oil and sets on fire. But yeah, next question. So this is from my good friend John Lone. He said, 5 characters from film and television you would hire to pull off a bank job. 1 character per film / show. Now, I haven't like looked or thought these questions in advance because I wanted my answers to be genuine. So I think we're going to go with, so what is it? It's a bank job, so like a heist. I think I'll go with John Wick as like the just in case shit hits the fan. We'll go with, who was the brains on like Ocean's 11? Maybe like George Clooney's character from Ocean's 11. Then I'll go I'm going to go off the other end, and I'd say Loki from the Marvel films, because he's a creepy little scheming bastard, isn't he? And I reckon he can think stuff up. And I suppose if we're going down that route, which I won't, but I could just pick someone like supernatural that can materialize into the bank and then steal it. But I'm gonna, if I stay in the world of the real, we'll have to get rid of Loki then, won't we? Who else is there? So we've got John Wick, we've got George Clooney's character from Ocean's 11. I'm gonna go with the lass out of, was it called Queen's Gambit, that chess film? Because I feel like she'd like secretly be really good at scheming up a strategy, you know, like with like an outside the box strategy, because she's coming from a chess background. So we'll put her in as well. I'll maybe choose. We need someone who can like fit into a small space. Who's like a? Need someone, you know, that's like an acrobat, or like we'll go with fucking hell, what's she called off Kick-Ass? The one who just fucking brays everyone, but she can like do flips and shit. So we'll go with her as like a, you know, just in case there's like an air vent section where someone needs to scooch through an air vent. And then I'd say we need a wild card, don't we? Need a bit of a wild card for a heist, you know, just to like keep everyone on their toes. So I think we'll go with Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, just to keep everyone on the fucking toes. He can just stand there with his little bob haircut, just going, just, you know, being ominous and that. Maybe he's the one who keeps all the security guards in check with his little coin flip. He's like, how much is a coin? What's that? I can't remember the quote. What's the most you've ever bet on a coin toss? Whatever he says. Lost on a coin toss. Anyway, yeah, those are my answers. Good question. Next one. Next question is from my mate. He said, what's the coolest tattoo you've ever seen, and what's the tattoo you're most proud of doing? So the coolest tattoo I've ever seen, I'll have to get it to fucking pop up on screen somewhere in editing, but it's hard. It's a difficult question, but I'd say it's probably, which side do you reckon I should put it up? This one or this one? That'll probably look better, won't it? This in editing is the coolest tattoo I've ever seen. It's like I don't know, it just fucking looks mint, and I've not really seen anything like it. There's a lot of people have been doing this like biomechanic or mechanic or robotic stuff for ages, but I've never seen it done this well. It just looks fucking incredible. It's like one of the most unique tattoos I've ever seen, and it somehow, despite being mechanical and rigid, it looks like it flows and has like animation to it, which is just cool as fuck. Yeah, and the tattoo that I'm most proud of doing, I'll put that up on this side, and then it'll look dead cool, won't it, in the video afterwards. I don't know really. I'll have to have a proper good think about that. It's probably maybe one. Let's just go with this one. It's a recent addition, and you'll have seen it everywhere. But it's just a back piece I've done over a few days, and the customer was great. We got on loads, had loads of good talks and stuff. But they were on like a 3-day, quite a tight schedule. I'd say 3 days is quite quick to do a back piece on this scale, and it wasn't like rushed by any means, but it felt like I quite liked having that like time scale pressure on, where it was like, right, we have to get this done in 3 days, because the customer was traveling back to going back home after the 3 days, which was in a different country, so in Switzerland. So it was I'm really happy with it as a tattoo, but then I'm also really happy with getting it done in the time limit that was allocated, sort of thing. And I think the result's really cool. And I've seen a healed photo recently, and it still looks sick. So if you want a fucking back piece off me, book in and I'll do a cool one for you. Next question is actually from said customer. It is, what's the most disappointing or surprisingly good game you've played? I'd say the most disappointing, even though I was set up to be disappointed by it, was that Ubisoft, was it called Skull and Bones, the pirate game. I knew, I'd seen all the reviews and stuff, but there was just a part of me that really got tricked into thinking this might be all right. You know, like I saw like streamers playing it a bit, and I thought that looks like it's got the aspects of Assassin's Creed Black Flag that I liked in ship, the ship and like management aspects of it looked like it might have that, and like the exploration and stuff. And I played it for like 10 minutes, and I was just like, fucking hell, this is shite. And it was as bad as everyone said, and I wish I never bought it. I think I got it on sale for like 50% off, so it was like 30 quid. And I might as well have just stuck 30 quid up my fucking ass, because it was absolutely terrible. Then what was the other one? Surprisingly good game. That latest Star Wars Outlaws, because that kind of got loads of shit. It was the opposite end of it. Also a Ubisoft game, actually. It just shows you just can't fucking trust Ubisoft. They're either surprisingly good or surprisingly bad. There's nowhere else on the on the scale. I'd say that's Star Wars Outlaws, yeah, because it got shat on when it got released and everyone fucking hated it. Or actually, on that same note, Days Gone, because that got quite badly reviewed when it came out, and I think it came out around about Red Dead 2 or maybe just after Red Dead 2 or something, so it got fucking shit on loads. But then I think it's one of the best open world, like free roaming, one of those games of all time. And I think a lot of people since have come around, and it's got a bit of a cult following where everyone's asking for a sequel and stuff, which would be fucking mint, but I don't think it's going to happen, because I think there was some beef between the director and Sony or something like that. But yeah, Days Gone, probably. And then second to that, Star Wars Outlaws, which wasn't amazing, but it was surprisingly good in relation to the fucking shit it got on release. Next question. This question, advice to start drawing and get good enough to create designs. There was a similar question on the last video, if you want to check that out for a more in-depth one, but I'd more in-depth answer. I'd just unanimously say it is good to just draw as much as possible. Just draw all the time, draw as much as you can, draw on like your notepad, draw on just draw or paint, you know, like if you want to paint, apply that to painting as well. It's kind of like the same as anything, you know, like I've sometimes said things along the lines of, I wish I could play guitar. And it's kind of like that thing where like I obviously don't wish it too much because I don't do it very much. If I truly wished to play guitar more, I would just play guitar more. And it's kind of like that with drawing. If you really want to get good at drawing, you have to want to get good at drawing enough to fucking draw all the time. You get from it what you put into it. There's no reason that you have to be good at drawing. If you're having fun drawing and you just draw every now and then, and it's fun and you enjoy it and you're like, yes, this is it. This is my hobby. Just do it for fun. And eventually you might get really good, but there's no pressure to get good if you're not doing it for like your job or something, you know what I mean? Or you're not planning on like selling illustrations and stuff like that. You don't really have to get good, but yeah, just practice, time, patience and practice. Just try and draw one thing a day, even if it's just a little fucking face or a skull on like, you know, like a a napkin or something, or whether you're doing like a full A4 bit of paper, or something bigger, or just, just draw as much as possible and you will get better. The same as anything, if you want to get good on piano, just play piano every day and you'll get better at that. That's what I think anyway. Next question. This question, I get this asked occasionally, not this exact question, but they have said, how do you feel about guest spotting in other countries? How do you feel about guest spotting in other countries? Don't know if I will. I would like to, in theory, but to be honest, I haven't actually done many guest spots in general. I think I've done one. I've never done a convention. I am actually working my first convention this year on October the 26th. It's a local convention in my town called Ink on the Tees, and I'm working that because it's local to me. I think it's going to be good promotion for the shop, and it'll be cool to just sort of be working amongst loads of people from the area that I know, and it'll be fun. But outside of that, the same applies to guest spotting. I'm not too stoked on doing it because I don't know. Sometimes it's like a risk reward thing. I know that this doesn't apply to everyone, but just me in particular. I don't know. I just like my stuff where it is, and like obviously I've got my own shop now, with like artists working here, so it's difficult to like want to go to another shop and like kind of like pay like whatever amount they want and probably do less cool tattoos than I would than if I just kind of stayed here and built up my own little kind of my own little bubble of like regular customers and like mates and stuff like that. And then, there's always the risk, like you might go, if I go and work at a shop with some artists that I really like or like admire or look up to, I might not I might not get on with them very well. And then it might like kill that artist in my, you know what I mean? It's a tricky one, really. I think if I was going to go and work in another country, it'd have to be some rare circumstance where I know for sure that I'm going to get on with everyone for, like the week that I'm working there and stuff, and that the studio runs how I want it. It's not a definitive no, I won't do it, but it's quite unlikely. I'd say if there is anyone that's banking on me guesting in other countries to get a tattoo off me, I wouldn't wait too long for that because I might die before it happens or something. But I won't say no definitively, but it's unlikely. I don't even guest spot in my own country, so unfortunately, it's unlikely I'll go somewhere else. Maybe like once somewhere really far away to make it really worthwhile, like Canada. It'd be cool because I'd kind of want to go there and visit it anyway, once all this bloody America versus Canada stuff's over with, because I don't fancy going anywhere that's like close to somewhere that's going to erupt into war at any time soon, and America and Canada as an extension of that kind of feels like that. But maybe one day Canada, maybe Switzerland, because I know a tattoo artist there that I could maybe hopefully work in their shop for a week or something. But yeah, don't count on it. Next question. Next question is from my sister-in-law. Is that right? Is that what the relation is? Sister-in-laws? I think so. Anyway, the question is, I couldn't see your jumper properly I posted a photo when I posted these questions. I'll put the photo up actually. It's me in school with a big, I think I was 14. It's like one of my, like final pieces of the year. As you can see, I've always been a cheery fellow. But the question is, I couldn't see your jumper properly. What school did you go to? I went to Lawrence Jackson School in Gisborough. It was fucking shit, really. It was like, there's a select group of people that I knew from school that I still talk to. Essentially, like, you know, like the mushers. All them guys are dead cool, and I'm not like dead good friends with everyone, just because time gets in the way and stuff. But in general, the school is fucking shit. Like, I like everyone that was kind of in my circle from the end of school to like college. You know, like all the more like alternative people that kind of followed over from that, and then like my best mate, he's like someone I've known from like end of school to college and stuff. But despite that, like the school was fucking shit. Really, it was like I wouldn't fucking outside of my circle, like anyone else from school was just a fucking asshole. Really, I don't know if it was just me as well, but it felt like if you were, I think it's the same everywhere. It felt like if you were alternative or into metal, everyone kind of just saw you as a target and like bullied you, or like it was just a difficult time. There's some people from school where if I saw them now, I'd be tempted to fucking headbutt their face into the pavement until there was nothing left, and then have a big old fucking piss all over them. You know, just like bad people, really. But it felt like the whole school was like that. It was very like against alternative people, against like RE music people and stuff like that. Yeah, and if you were from school, not in my circle from this, and you're watching it, then I hope your fucking life's shit, and your wife hates you, and you've got ugly fucking kids, and no one likes you, and you're addicted to drugs and all that shit, you know. But yeah, next question. On the back end of that, same photo from my mate Jordan. What age did you start shaving your eyebrow? So on that very same note, I started shaving my eyebrow in about probably year 7, like as soon as I got there, because yeah, before I started secondary school, it was kind of like you know, just in primary school and that, there wasn't really like groups and like cliques and like stuff like that. You know, like I was into like what I'd call like early metal. You know, like Rob Zombie and Slipknot and Marilyn Manson, Korn, Devil Driver, Machine Head, Pantera. You know, all that sort of stuff. Just because like my dad was, and you know, I kind of like picked it up off him. But it was never really a thing in primary school. It was just like kids were into what they're into and that. And then I got into secondary school, and everyone was a bit like, I think like back then you like the thing was like townies and goths rather than chavs and moshers. And then as like school went on, it migrated into being like chavs and moshers. But what it started out as was like townies and goths. And it felt like the school was mostly like the more like, you know, like non-alternative people. And the form I got put in, unfortunately, apart from like a couple of dudes in there that I got on with, like my best mate from primary school ended up in my form. That was Gary. And like I got on with him right the way through, and you know, I still talk to him now if I see him and stuff. And he was like my best mate right through school. And then there was a couple of other people in the form and that we got on with, but the school in general was like a bit of a fucking nightmare if you were like a mosher like I was, so, or am even. So yeah, did stuff like that, like putting a slit in my eyebrow and that to try and like fit in with all the people that were like eager to bully us all and stuff. You know, it was like fit in to survive sort of thing. So I'd always put fucking shit music on my phone and that. You know, like when we started getting phones with like polyphonic ringtones and that. That's showing my age a bit, isn't it? I'd put like, you know, like fucking songs like Pretty Green Eyes and stuff like that on my phone, so like everyone knew I was like a cool kid and not a mosher. But then I'd go home and I'd put I'd turn into fucking Tobey Maguire on Spider-Man 3 and be like, here I am, listen to fucking Slipknot all night and try and slit my wrists and that. Not a joke, but you know what I mean. So yeah, probably not the dark, grim answer that you were expecting from that light-hearted question, but you know, that's me, ever the optimist. Next question. This one's from my mate Jack, who says, "What's the best part of your day?" I'd say in general, my favourite part of the day is like it's hard in it 'cause I love my job. I love it so much. Like I couldn't do anything and I wouldn't do anything. I think it's like tattooing or jumping off fucking Saltburn Cliff for me. You know, if they outlawed tattooing, I'd probably just fucking blow myself up or something like that. Because I can't do out else. So I do love coming to work, especially because I work with Jill, my missus. Like we get on better than anyone I've ever got on with in my life. So like we both try and spend as much time around each other as possible. So, you know, we do everything together. We work together, live together, go to the gym together, go to gigs together, all that. So I do love coming to work. Obviously, because I get to do what I love, you know, like my hobby. But I'd say the best part of my day in general is just getting maybe like getting up on a best part of your day, yeah, getting home after work and just like chilling out and drawing and stuff like that. Seeing what, you know, like having a little draw for the next day, have a little chill out, probably like get a little bit stoned and stuff like that. I'd say that's the part of the day I enjoy the most, but I do mostly like all of my day. I like waking up in the morning and getting up early and seeing the cats, and quite simple with my requirements for happiness, really. I just want to spend as much time as possible with my partner and pets, because it's all it is, isn't it, really? Life. I'm not asked about like traveling and doing mad stuff, because just want to be happy with the people I know, like my small circle. So I just quite like any part of the day where I'm spending time with people I know. Like, yeah, like the other day going to the pub with a mate and that. It's just fun, isn't it? Just the little things, really. Just like just hanging out with people that I like. But yeah, good question. Next question, also from Jack. Which vegetable do you trust the least? I'd say my initial thought is like a parsnip. I'd say a parsnip's one of the least trustworthy vegetables. I like a parsnip, don't get me wrong, and I love a roast parsnip. I like any kind of vegetable, really. But something about the potential of weird shape that comes from a parsnip that I'm not too stoked on. That can look a bit like I don't know, you know, like a cartoon rat or something. I don't know what I mean by that. I might put some images up as comparisons as to what I mean, but I also might not. So yeah, parsnips. You better watch your fucking back around them, really. Next question. Also from Jack. If you could pick up a new skill in an instant, what would it be? I'm just going to sort of make my own rules to this and presume that it's like you'll be, like, not only will you know how to do it, but you'll be good at, excuse me, you'll be good at it, you know, like, because there's knowing a skill and then doing it, isn't there? You know, like I could teach someone how about like everything there is to know about tattooing, but if they can't draw, they can't do it, can they? So I'm just going to presume it kind of means both, you know, like you'll know about it and are able to do it. I'd probably pick it'd either be a musical instrument, maybe like absolutely fucking shredding on guitar, or maybe like being like the best singer in the world. Something musical, because outside of art, I am proper into music, but I've never dedicated the time to get good at an instrument, which kind of, I had the opportunity when I was a kid to like learn piano, because I lived with my grandparents for like the largest like portion of my childhood, and my gran is like really good at piano and knows how to read sheet music and all that sort of stuff, and she offered to teach me one time, and I kind of like turned it down because I thought it wasn't cool at the time to learn piano, and I thought I'd get bullied for it at school, which is probably true, you know, from all those like rat bags that I was on about in the previous question like a while ago. But yeah, I'd maybe just choose something musical like guitar, singing, or maybe like something kind of like superhero-y, like being able to learn any language instantaneously, or you know, something cool like that, maybe. Good question. Next question. Next question is from my mate Steve again. He just says, Gizzabri. Excuse me, that's not one, that is a belch. I've never actually been able to do them, really. It's one of those, like, weird style things, I think, where I quite struggle with doing, like, those more, like, you know, like deathcore-y sounds with my vocals. I think I'm a bit more, like, don't know, never been able to hit one. I can probably hit one on stage, you know, where you're in the flow and you've got that distortion of the microphone to kind of do the work for you and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I can do one. I reckon I'll work on that and get back to you, Petal. Next question. Another question from our good friend John Lunn, who is on his way to New York City as we speak today to start up a furniture business at last. He's making his dreams come true and moving to the Big Apple to create custom handmade wooden furniture in the city and sell it for a disproportionately ungodly price to unknowing Americans. So yeah, good luck with that. But this question is, would you rather live your next life as a sparrowhawk, a dolphin, or a Siberian tiger? My initial thing is just a dolphin, probably. I think I'd just die from the fear of it, but I really want to know what's at the bottom of the ocean. I want to know what's going on. I don't know how far down a dolphin can swim, but I'm willing to find out. And I know I'd probably just get swallowed by a fucking great white shark, or, you know, it's probably the most terrifying thought I can have is being a dolphin. And, like, you know, like going underwater and that. I can't really think of anything scarier, but for that very reason of, like, finding out what's down there, I'd have to choose that, I think. So yeah, a dolphin, against my better judgment. Next and final question. It's a tricky question. The question is, I have no fucking idea what to do with my life anymore. Any inspirational words of wisdom? It's a hard one, this, because I'm not the most inspirational kind of guy. I'm quite a bit of a, don't know, pessimist, nihilist, maybe, sort of. In various portions of my life, I'm quite nihilistic and negative, but then there is a lot of positivity for me as well, just from Jill and the cats and my mates and stuff. But I think when I was a bit younger, I went through this where I was absolutely certain I wanted to be a tattoo artist, but I wasn't entirely sure if I was actually going to be able to do it, because I got turned down from loads of apprenticeships and stuff. Everything was going wrong, and yeah, I went through some, like, really, really bad times that, you know, I almost didn't make it out of and stuff. I think when I was about, I don't know, can't even remember how old it was, which is doubly depressing, but maybe like 22 or something like that. There was a couple of times, you know, where I was like, right, this is it. It's over with. But then I pushed through that somehow. And now I'm a tattoo artist and I'm happy with it, and I like my life, and every year is better than the last. But I'd say that's what you need to do. Not you, just everyone. Obviously, you know, don't listen to me because I've got bloody drawings on my face and stuff. But I think just try and find something that you enjoy and do that as much as possible, whether it's drawing or music or, like, hiking or jiu-jitsu, climbing, skiing, mountain biking, just photography, painting Warhammer, watching films, reviewing films, reading books, anything, skateboarding. Just find something that you like and do it as much as possible. If off the back end of that you can find a way to make money from it so you can literally do it for your life, then that's great. But I'd just say concentrate on doing as much as you can that you like every day, and try and build up your circle of support and friends and family if you have that option there. I know everyone doesn't have that option available for them, but if you do, just try and nourish what you have. Spend time with the people that you can as much as possible. Yeah, find a hobby and do it as much as possible if you like it, and then even if it's like literally every fucking day and you hate the rest of your day, at least you've got that one thing to like look forward to at the end of the day where it can like maybe get you through the day, sort of thing. That's what I had to do when before I was tattooing. I worked in retail, and I pretty much just wanted to fucking hang myself, but it felt like don't know, like felt like I wanted to, but I didn't dare. You know what I mean? And I was like deeply depressed. But I just after, and I hated it in retail. Like every day, I was thinking, man, I might fucking murder suicide my way out of this situation in a minute. But yeah, I'm just trying to latch on to one little thing that I like to do every day and do that. And for me, it was going on walks and drawing that kind of got me through that. I'd make sure I'd just go on a walk somewhere vaguely nature-ish every day, or like sit down and create something like a drawing or a song on my computer. I'd like sit and make a song with like guitar and stuff like that. And at least I'd done one thing creative. It'd just top up my life force enough to make it through another day, and then another day became 2 days, and then 2 days became a week, and then a week became a month, and then suddenly I was out the other side of it, luckily. And from that, I've found myself in a place mentally where I actually value my life now, in terms of like happiness anyway. I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah, just try and find one thing that you enjoy and do it as much as possible, whether it makes you money or not. And my dad always used to say, don't chase the money, chase the happiness. And my granddad as well. Before he died, he'd always just say, like, just do what you like, what you love, and then everything else might fall into place. But if it doesn't, at least you're doing something you like, whether you're poor or rich. 'Cause that's what matters, doesn't it? There's only one chance at it, this life, and like, sort of recently realized that like everyone older than me, like in my life, like my parents and stuff like that, they're also just people going through life for the first time, the same as everyone else, and you just have to do as best you can with what you've got, really. Yeah, as you can see, I struggle with it. You know, I'm like deeply trying to be a positive person, but then you just get these little flashes of like nihilistic, like, fuck this planet, I want it to melt, just comes out in me. But yeah, you just have to, that's why you need to find something you like and cling on to that. This has been the longest fucking answer everywhere. Yeah, sorry. What a nightmare. What a bloody nightmare I've made this question. Hope that was all right, but it probably wasn't. Good question, though. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing all right and stuff. Yeah, it's a bloody nightmare, isn't it? Just like sometimes you're just like, I'm alive, and I don't know why. Like why am I having to do this every day? It's like wake up and then do it again, and then sleep and then wake up. But, you know, at least if there's one thing you like doing, which for me is like drawing and hanging out with my family and stuff. When I say family, like hanging out with my family, I just mean like my partner and my cats, really, and my mates. Yeah, hope that helps, and I hope you find something, and I hope you feel better soon, because life is valuable, whether you value it or not, really. Right, I think that'll do for that one. I think I've probably put everyone into a deep depression with that last question. Hopefully not. Try to have a positive spin on it, but it never comes out that way. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like that video. I will do more like that. If you want to have one of your questions answered, just head over to my Instagram and give me a follow, and maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks or something, I put a Ask Me Anything thing up. That's where I got all the questions from. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. If you want a tattoo from me, give me an email and I'll get you booked in. See you later.